And there are 4 heats in this 200-meter prelim for the men 60 and 60 to 64. So all the top runners from heat 1 will wait and see if their time stands, because there are 3 more heats yet to run. We now turn our attention to that far side of the track and the start line for the 200-meter dash. In lane 1, you see Jim Hirschberger from Arizona. He's in the white with the black shorts. Edwin Osterman from Ohio is in 2. Bobby Griffiths, California. Stephen Pranger from Mississippi. James Zetekins. James Zetekins from New York, 61, and I hope that's close, James. Atherley Burrows from Barbados is in lane 6, and Dale Stradinger from South Dakota is in 7, and they are in the blocks for the second heat of the men's 200-meter dash for the men's 60. And they are off with a clean start.
And forgive me looking at the wrong heat. Now Hirschberger, Arizona, Ed Osterman, Ohio, Bobby Griffiths, California. Heat Pranger, Mississippi, James.
Wow, look at lane 6. Atherley Burrows. Look at Atherley go. Barbados, 60 years old. Next to him in lane 4 will be Stephen Pranger finishing second. And then we got a close one. I think that's lane 7, Dale Stradinger. Then lane 1, Jim Hirschberger. And then last across was 4, Stephen Pranger from Mississippi. Your official order of finish for that heat of the men's 60. Second heat, men's 60, 200-meter dash. Burrows, Zetenkens, Stradlinger, Hirschberger, Osterman, Pranger. There you go. That is the official order of finish for heat 2. By the way, your leader, wow, 25.97. Second place was 27.93. So those guys will get rehydrated and get ready for, 2 more heats and hope that their time will stand and get them into the finals. So back over to the far side of the track. You're looking at the disc area. The big screen is the disc area with the start line behind it. The disc competition that's going on there right behind them is the men's discus for men 80 and above. See that toss right there? 80-year-old, 80-plus-year-old dude throwing the disc. I guess when you're 80 and you're in the disc, you're in the field events, I guess the hardest part about that is keeping track of your gear, right? Where's my disc? Where did I leave that thing? Senior moment, hashtag real senior moments. Heat 3. Willie Spurrell, Dave McNair, Lawrence Finley, Anthony Tilford, Joseph Partridge II, Daniel Schaefer, and Ronald Humphrey, and they are off with a clean start. And looks like the outside is going to be your leader here, Ronald Humphrey from Virginia. Oh, yeah. Ronald moving and looking good. Could be leaning forward more for my taste, but he's winning. We won't judge. Lane 7 is your winner, Ronald Humphrey. Second place is lane 2, Dave McNair from Nebraska. Willie Spurrell, and then Lawrence Finley. Order of finish for that third heat of the men's 200-meter dash for men 60 was Humphrey from Virginia with a 25.47. McNair from Nebraska, 27.57. Spurrell, 30.04. And then it's Finley and Schaefer, both from Ohio, in the next order of finish. McNair from Nebraska, 63. I'm 59, 60. He would have been 4 years ahead of me. I'm just wondering if I would ever have competed against any of these gentlemen. But he's 4 years ahead of me, so probably not. But his name sure sounds familiar, Dave McNair. All right. Heat number 4. Fourth and final heat in the 200-meter prelims for the men's 60. In lane 2 is Eric Smith from New Mexico. Alexander Samolyov from Massachusetts in lane 3. Scott Surface from Oklahoma in lane 4. David Bernstein, 62, Hawaii. Newman Northen is in lane 6. Junior Lovell from Barbados in 7. James Chin from California in 8. We've heard some of these names before. Final heat for the men's 60. And then we have 2 more age categories to run, and that will complete our track for the day. They're off with a clean start in this 4th and final heat for the men's 200-meter dash for men's 60. Eric Smith, Somoloff. Let's see what happens here. They lean into that curve and they're cruising. Looks like outside that's James Chin from California. Look at Chin go. Eric Smith from New Mexico looking good in lane 2, but watch out for Barbados in lane 7. Looks like it's going to be Chin, Smith, and Lovell. 1, 2, 3 in that 4th heat of the men's 60-meter. I'm sorry, the men's 200 meters for the men's 60. Chin, California, 25.77. Smith from New Mexico, 27.08. Did hold on for second place. Lovell was coming on hard there at the end from Barbados. He finished at 27.56. So just a half a second between second and third. Northand from Maryland, 29.45. And then it was Surface from Oklahoma at 30.12. That was your 4th final heat. So let's go get some results. By the way, let's back up a heat. I don't think I ever did relay to you, and we have it now. The final field for the men's category that ran just before this. So that'll be the men's 65 to 69. In the 200-meter dash, we do have the qualifiers for tomorrow's final. First in was Michael Kish from New Jersey with a 26.66. Second was Oscar Payton from Maryland. He'll run tomorrow in the men's 65-69 final. Then it was Marvin Capperton, Edward Somerville, Thomas Simic, Dan Bailey, Warren Broswell, and your 8th guy in for tomorrow's 200-meter final was Greg Piazza from California. And that's the field for tomorrow's 200-meter dash final for the men's 65 to 69. We will have it for you live tomorrow, Thursday. The men's 65 200-meter dash comes your way at 10 a.m. sharp, right here on ProView Networks. So now we'll take our finished results app and we'll go to the results tab. Oh, that wasn't it. So again, we'll take our finished results app. What we'll do here, if you want to follow along, learn how to use this, it's really a lot of fun. We'll go to Wednesday track. It's the blue button on the top. Scroll down to the men 60. Scroll down to the men's 200. Then look for 60. That's an easy click. And what do you know? It's all the results. It's that easy. There you go, an actual on-air live demonstration of the ease and efficiency of this app of finished results. Qualifiers for tomorrow's 60-meter finals for tomorrow's the qualifiers for tomorrow's final in the men's 200-meter dash for the men's 60 include top qualifier Ronald Humphrey, who ran a 25.47. Second in for tomorrow's final is James Chin, Atherley Burrows, Eric Smith, Ian Smith, Junior Lovell, Dave McNair, and James Zietenkens from New York. There's your 8th and final qualifier. He got in with a 27.93 out of the second heat. He's from New York. So James was the 8th qualifier in at a 27.93. And then, Clifford Madison from California just missed out on the finals tomorrow by 4/100ths of a second. 27.93 to 27.97. It's close in the world of track and field. They say it's inches. It's actually fractions of inches. If they say it's seconds, it's actually milliseconds. We're talking about 3/100ths of 1 second that separates you from a chance at winning. That's amazing. But again, sometimes those resentments can make you perform better next time around. All right. Now it looks like coming up next will be the 55-year-olds. Gets underway at 3:35. That's just 3 minutes away. So let's see if we can catch you up to date on some of the field events that are ongoing. What's that? All right. Very good. We'll get to that. We have a photo. Our producer, Alden, went deep into the dark web, found the photo. We'll get to that in just a minute. So we're a few minutes out from the start of the next men's preliminary races for the men that are 55. What you're seeing there, you're seeing the start line of the 220, but right in the foreground is the the discus. Discus. It's the round heavy thing. Yeah, it's the disc. All right, so what you're seeing there in the foreground is the men's discus. For the men 80 to 84. So while we have a break before the next preliminary rounds heats get underway, let's bring you up to date on what you're seeing there in the foreground. It is the men's discus throw for men 80 to 84. They are through 3 attempts. Looks like we have 2 flights. First flight is into their 3rd attempt. And so far, your leader in that discus category for the men 80 to 84 is John McBee from Arkansas with a toss of 82 feet 4 inches. He's about 20 feet ahead of second place. Ralph Rishi from Utah with a toss of 65.9. So we go from 65 to 82. That's the gap between first and second right now in the men's disc. Then in 3rd place, Randy Verk from Nevada with a 65.3. Now see, he's only 6 inches behind second place. And then we have about 4 feet behind that is Richard Rodriguez from New Mexico. Then it's Frank Hedgecock, Ty Erickson, Carlos Rodriguez, and Robert Ferrier. Standings of the men's discus throw for men 80 to 84. That's flight 1 through 3 attempts. Also happening in the field right now, we have women's high jump. You might see that in this 220 sprints as the camera pans around as they come out of that turn. The high jump area is right there to the runner's left. Ongoing is the women's high jump for women 70 to 89, and it looks like that's a combined category that we'll return to in just a moment. But here goes the first heat of the men's 200-meter dash for men's 55 to 59. And in heat number 1, we have Christopher Bailey, Walter Love, Don McGee, Alan Murray, Joseph Sonnet, Richard Workman, and William Wan. Not even a race. Don McGee from Maryland striding through the finish in good-looking style. Then it's going to be lane 6, Joseph Sonnet, and then lane 2, Christopher Bailey, and the rest of the field. So that was an exciting 200-meter dash prelim that was won by McGee from Maryland at 25:32. Soynet, Arkansas, 27:14. 3rd was Bailey from Arizona with a 27:88. 4th, Workman from Ohio at 28:31. And then it was Wan, Love, and Murray, the order of finish in that first heat of the men's 200-meter dash for the men 55-59.
Lane 5 from Virginia, Michael Brady, 24:70 incoming time.
Heat number 2. In lane 2, Carlton Downing from New Mexico. Lane 3, Gerald Mitchell from North Carolina. Lane 4, James Lee from Ohio. Lane 5, Michael Bridkamp from Virginia. In 6, it's Evan Ling, and they're off. And in lane 7, John Austin from Ohio. It's a really nice shot right there. See those guys leaning into that curve? That's one of my favorite shots in all of track and field right there, the guys, runners coming off the corner. And as they do come out of that corner in the stagger, your leader right down the middle in lane 5 is Michael Bridkamp from Virginia. Then it's going to be Gerald Mitchell, I apologize, from North Carolina, Gerald Mitchell. And then in third, it's Austin from Ohio. So Bridkamp from Virginia with a 24.98. Mitchell from North Carolina with a 25.78. Austin from Ohio, 27.50. Downing from New Mexico, 28.78. Then it was Lee and Ling. That was the results from heat number 2 of the men's 200-meter dash for the men 55 to 59. And then one sprint category after that. It's too bad we don't have the hurdles in the events here today. I really like the hurdles. I ran the hurdles. And I also did run track and field. And our buddy Alden is going to show us something here that he found on the dark web right there. I was saying earlier how nice it would be to have these high-def videos available to go back and watch. All we have are black and white 8x10s. And there's one of them right there. That's me on the left from Lincoln East. The guy next to me is Randy Johnson. He was a stud from Lincoln Northeast. And that is a picture of the high hurdles. You can see that we're both in the exact same form because it's a very tight race. We're both hurdlers in the hurdle race. You know, it's the number of steps between the race. So different than an all-out sprint, when you get a close hurdle race, the hurdlers will be in the exact same position. But there they are. One thing I learned, if you look at my right, I'm making a fist. And if you look at Randy Johnson's right hand, or his left hand, his thumbs are on the outside of his fist. Where my thumb is on the inside clenched. Randy Johnson has the correct form because it keeps you from clenching, keeps you less tense. So thanks for that. So I really did run track, and thank you all for finding that on the dark web. Heat number 3 of the men's 200-meter dash is Oscar Fabra, Elio Stith, James Linehan, Owen Barrett, Mike Sullivan, and David Pitts. And wow, the dude in the beard that in number 7 is David Pitts from Missouri, and he's in clean. Number 5, or in lane 5, is Owen Barrett from New York. Wow. Yes. Even the PA announcer was impressed by that burst of speed by Pitts. Pitts from Missouri in first in that heat with a 24.51. Second was Barrett from New York, 25.91. Third, Stith from New Mexico, 26.71, and that was Fabra, Linehan, and Sullivan. Your order of finish in that heat number 3. In the men's 200-meter dash for the men 55 to 59. So now we move on to heat number 4. Thank you, Alden. That was fun. Good work. See, I keep telling you, too, these guys at ProView are a lot of fun, and they work hard behind the scenes and do whatever it takes. There's an example right there. So, what? Tweet at us. Oh, yeah. Don't forget, Alden says tweet us. We'd love to hear from you. Alden wants to hear from you. You can do that. ABQTV 505 on Twitter. ABQTV 505. And we'll get to your posts, and we'll be able to share those on the air. If you have a question, we'll try to answer. Comment, sure, we'll share it. '19 National Senior Games are brought to you by Humana with additional support and appreciation of 5-star senior living. The Hyatt Regency of Albuquerque. One Albuquerque, Growing Boulder. You see those logos on your screen now. The state of New Mexico and Zibrio, Zibrio. Log on, learn what they do. We also have Life Plan Communities. You see them on the left. New Mexico Senior Olympics. Presbyterian Hospitals, that's on the top right. UNM Health Sciences right below that. And then Visit Albuquerque right there on the bottom right. Sponsors of this broadcast of the 2019 National Senior Games. Heat number 4. Gerald Cionello. Gerald Cionello Orlando Perez, Kevin Biggers, John Bannister, Jerome Applegate, and Anthony Wright. And that is going to be John Bannister, followed closely by Kevin Biggers, and then Anthony Wright.
He had plenty of company from Kevin Biggers from New Mexico.
Order of finish for that fourth and final heat for the men's 200-meter dash and the men 55 was Bannister from Texas with a 25.85. Biggers from New Mexico second at 26.13. Third was Wright from Florida, 27.53. Applegate from Kentucky, 29.01. So, all of the preliminary heats are in the books for the men 55 to 59. We'll let them compile the results. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with the finals and with their list for the finals tomorrow. And we'll also have the final track event of the day. It's the 200-meter qualifiers for the men 50. That's all coming your way next at the 2000 National Senior Games, brought to you by Humana on ProView Sports.
Prescription I got.
Okay. I know you're going to think I'm lying.
Where are you from? Are you here for the games? What are you competing in? Nice. I saw the pickleball earlier today. It's an interesting game. Well, good luck. And can you say and spell your name? And here we go. Got people on the track right in front of the press box. We got an event underway. It's the first heat of the men's 5,200 meter finals. I'm sorry, the men's 200 meter dash, 50 to 55, first heat of the semifinals. And that was a nice run by Gibbon from Utah. Turned in at 24.99, broke the 25 mark. Second was Ballard from Nevada, 27.47. Third was Tapley from Florida. Fourth, Siriano from Colorado.
And Vince Samuel from Oklahoma, we're with you, buddy.
So we're into the final track event of the day. It's the 200 meter dash for men 50 to 55.
And that will bring us to heat 2 of 3, our final 200.
Men's 200 meter dash 50 to 54. In that first heat, it was Chad Ballard, Wayne Folk, Joseph Tapley, Vince Samuel from Oklahoma, David Gibbon, and Scott Siriano. Taking a look at the field for heat number 2, the National Senior Games record for this is 23:29. Heat number 2 has in lane 2 Preston Green from New Mexico, then Dan Hain from Michigan, Rudolph Valenzuela from New Mexico. In lane 5 it's Del Phillips from Pennsylvania, Khalid Mulazim from Ohio is in 6, and in 7 is Norris Haynes. Starting to see the same names over and over again, and that's not unusual in a track meet. The sprinters will run them all, and in this case the 50, the 100, and the 200. Some of them even got into the 4. There's a chance we'll see some of these sprinters again on the last day, the last meet, or the last events are 4x100 relays. And there's Pink Floyd again in the background. I hope that's not making it onto our broadcast, because that is copyrightable music. I think it's just din in the background, right? We hope. All right, but it's good. Here we go. Heat number 2 with a New Mexican Preston Green. Look in the middle, Rudolph Valenzuela and Del Phillips. Or in this particular case, look on the outside for lane number 6. Wow. Khalid Mulazim. Looking big and strong in lane 5. That's Del Phillips. I apologize. Del Phillips looking good. No, it was Khalid in lane 6. I had it right the first time. No, I didn't, because the board shows Mulazim. Yeah, that's what I had first. All right. Khalid Mulazim in lane 6, your winner. I'm doubting what I thought I knew. All right, Mulazim from Ohio was the winner in command the whole way, ran a 23:51. Then it was Haynes from Maryland at 24:15. Green from New Mexico got third in that heat. He ran a 24:92. Hain from Michigan, 28:50. Valenzuela from New Mexico.
We started on the track at 9 a.m. this morning, and here's our...
There we go. So those gentlemen, at least the top finishers, we'll hope their time stands. Good enough to get them into the finals. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is our last race of the last heat of the last category of track athletes today. Field events will remain ongoing. Get the app, finished results, if you want to follow along with the track, with the field events that are still ongoing. As we set the field for you in the fastest of the 3 heats, the third of 3. Inside in lane 2 is Dennis Christiansen from Washington. In lane 3 is Carl Ross from Florida. Then it's Leroy Miles, Jeff Baker, Manny Garcia, and Terry Hardy. And they are set. They're out cleanly. Off and leaning into that curve. I'm going to watch the monitor for this, because I do love it. Look at those guys. That is just a really nice shot. Good job. What are you looking at? Well, you're looking at a tight race between Terry Hardy and Manny Garcia, but Hardy's going to win. Garcia will get second, and then Leroy Miles in lane 4. And then I think we had Carl Ross, Dennis Christiansen. And still making his way around the track in lane 5 is Jeff Baker, 54 from Wisconsin. Must have pulled up lame or hurt. too tired, played softball, he must have swam, played basketball, I don't know. These track athletes will run many events here at the track, and they'll also compete in other sports at other venues around the city for the part of the games. So let's get you the results. Let's get you the results from those 3 heats of the men's 200-meter dash for the men 50 to 55. 3 heats, they'll combine times. Top 8 times will qualify for tomorrow's final. And look at that. Good job, guys. And thanks again. Your top qualifier, we just saw him run, Khalid Mulhazim from Ohio, your top qualifier for the men, 50 to 55 in the 200 meters, 23:51. Second qualifier was Norris Haynes from Maryland at a 24:15. Then it's David Gibbon from Utah, 24:99. Preston Green from New Mexico is fourth at 25:92. Terry Hardy, Louisiana, 26:47. In sixth place and seeded sixth for tomorrow's final, Manny Garcia, 26:87. Leroy Miles from Pennsylvania ran a 27:45. He's seventh. And your eighth and final qualifier for tomorrow's 200-meter final is Chad Ballard from Nevada with a 27:47. And then just out of the money was Carl Ross from Florida, 28:24. So 3/4 of a second between ninth and eighth place. There's your field for tomorrow's 200-meter dash final. We will have that for you tomorrow live at 9:32 a.m. Tomorrow morning, our broadcast day will begin at 9 a.m. with the 200-meter finals. That's what we've been watching all day, or 200s. Well, at least we've been watching all afternoon. We started this morning with the 800 finals. We've been watching the 200-meter prelims the remainder of the day. And so the finals will be held tomorrow beginning at 9 o'clock. And tomorrow all day it's the 200 meters until we get till about 10:45 when we'll get some relays, combined relays of the 4x100. And those will be finals. So all finals for tomorrow, the 200 and the 4x1 relay. You want to take a quick break and decide what we're going to do. That completes the track events for today, but we do have a number of field events. We'll bring you up to date. If we decide to go, we'll at least bring you up to date on those before we go. And we'll make that decision. We'll talk to the executives. We'll do that right after this. And thank you for watching the 2019 National Senior Games, brought to you by Humana on ProView Sports.
Of senior Olympians that has ever taken place in these games. And you know, there's so many people to thank for having put this together and coming together, and we're so happy to have this in our city and welcome people from all over the place to beautiful New Mexico. And at this time, there's a special recognition for the person for whom the Athlete Village was named for. So at this time, I'd like to invite Mark T. Riker, the CEO of the National Senior Games Association, to the podium so he can tell you about that special recognition.
Welcome. It is so exciting to be here. This whole journey started many years ago, really many years ago, and I can remember Ernesto. I was in a meeting here in 2014 in the summer. It was the New Mexico Long-Term Aging Conference, and we had a meeting, and Ernesto was sharing with me all the great things that he did for New Mexico and for seniors. And for 45 years, he was dedicated to that for volunteerism and service to his community. He changed the landscape here in the whole state of New Mexico for senior programming. And then in 1979, he started the New Mexico Senior Olympics with 165 athletes. Today, this next applause better be louder than that one. Now they're at over 3,000 athletes. And 1,516 of them qualified, and they're coming to nationals here in Albuquerque. They are obviously our largest contingent that will be here from our states. They are so fired up and so excited. But Ernesto was a very big part of that. They also called him then the godfather of the New Mexico Senior Olympics. But again, in 2014, I met Ernesto, and we were talking about what do you do and how we develop everything here. And at one point, he leaned over to me and just whispered into my ear, and he said, "Wouldn't it be great to have the National Games in Albuquerque?" That was a dream for Ernesto, to have the games here.
4 o'clock in the Rocky Mountain time zone. Dana Childs, glad to have you along and watching the 2019 National Senior Games from Albuquerque, New Mexico, here at the University of New Mexico Track and Field Complex. Another thrilling, almost exhausting day of track and field action. Lots and lots of races today, some amazing competition, and some fun results too, and beautiful weather. We really have been blessed with that. We're about to get to the hottest part of the day here in Albuquerque. It's about 4 in the afternoon, so when it gets real hot, I'll go inside and find the air conditioning. But no, actually, they only had me on here till 4 o'clock until the track event's finished. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to ask you one final time, I will today, to get the app, Finished Results. Download that, and you can keep track of the remaining field events which are ongoing here. There are 3 still in progress: the women's high jump, the men's disc, and the men's triple jump. Our cameras will be on the women's high jump for 70 to 89, and also on the men's disc, 80 to 84. And the men's triple jump ongoing. So, and we're also waiting for final results on the men's pole vault. That has completed, but they have not brought the results to us up here in the press box yet. So that'll get here, not to worry. Another reason to download the app, Finished Results. So in other words, we're going to leave the camera on those 2 events, the men's disc and the women's high jump. If you follow along on Finished Results, you'll be able to know exactly what's going on, and you can also keep track of the men's triple jump. But if you're not going to do that, before we go, let me just bring you up to date. First of all, on the high jump that you're looking at there on the big screen. The high jump right now for women, this is a combined category. Women's high jump 70 to 89. The bar stands at 0.97 meters. 2 jumpers have cleared that height. 5 jumpers remain in the contest. So there's your update on what's going on over there that you're seeing there in the women's 70 to 89 high jump. And yeah, everybody's out except for, let's start at the top and work our way down. Christelle Donnelly from Colorado didn't even start jumping until the bar got to 0.91. She's cleared every attempt at each height. Then you have Kathleen Radley from Georgia. She began jumping when the bar was at 0.82. She's cleared all of her 6 attempts. And in third place right now is Joyce Flynn from New York. She has yet to clear 0.97, and I think she is going for it right there. Yep, and I think she just cleared it, if that is Joyce. If the 0 appears, if you're following along on the Finished Results app, a 0. There it is. Okay, so that was Joyce, and that's how quick the results come to us, all right? So there's Joyce Flynn. She made that attempt. She has not missed today. In fact, the top 4 jumpers remaining in this contest have not had a miss yet. So the next attempt will be Barbara Warren from West Virginia, and she has cleared 0.97. Marcia Long, the other jumper that's still in the contest, has not cleared 0.97. So what you're going to be watching for the next few minutes on that high jump screen will be Marcia Long trying to clear .97, and she has 2 attempts remaining. That's your update on the women's high jump that you're seeing there on the big screen. The men's disc for men's 80 to 84 is happening right next door to that high jump, and you see that on your lower inset on the lower left. And the current standings for the men's disc, men 80 in the disc, where they are into their 3rd attempt. And your current leader is John Bissinger from Kansas with a throw of 92.5. William Gramley from North Carolina currently in 2nd at 88.2. Just 2 inches behind in 3rd place is Gerald Springer from Kansas at 88 even. So 2 inches separating bronze from silver, and then just 5 inches separating nothing from bronze. Your 4th place contestant, Peter Labarge from Texas, stands at 87.7, and he has to try to reach 88 even. The rest of the field is Jerry Rouse, Kenneth Rubish, Will Godfrey, Ross Aragon, and Richard Ashbaugh, Charles Lanza, Paul Moyer, and Jerry Chase. So there are that's the situation at the disc throw for men 80 to 84. Your current leader, John Bissinger from Kansas, with a throw of 92.5, 92 feet 5 inches. And your men's triple jump, which is not on your screen, is almost complete. And the only jumpers remaining are pretty much out of the competition. You know, I hate to say that because anybody could uncork at a wild jump at any time. But based on these consistent results that we've been seeing, your leader, this one's hard to decipher. I apologize. 851. Looks like your leader right now in the men's triple jump is Ivan Black with a triple jump of 28 1 3/4. 28 1 3/4. No, I see. Your leader is Jeffrey Duke from Illinois with a leap of 31. Did that on his first attempt, had 2 more attempts, then has not attempted any more jumps past, or he faulted on the next 3. There we go. All right, I'm up to date. Your leader is Jeffrey Duke from Illinois. Best jump 31 feet. Did that on his first attempt and then faulted on the remainder. In 2nd place is Ivan Black. This is men's triple jump, 70 to 74. Your 2nd place jumper, Ivan Black from New Jersey at 28 1 3/4. Next up, in 3rd place right now, the event's still in progress, Frank Tilton from Missouri with a jump of 27 2 1/4, and then in 4th is Bobby Kleeman from Ohio at 26 9 3/4. Still with a chance is Maurice LeBlanc at 25 4 1/4. Okay, so everyone has attempted their 6th jump in the men's triple jump except for the jumpers that are in 9, 10, 11, and 12th place. So it seems reasonable to believe that those results will stand, but we're not going to predict that. But if it does, Jeffrey Duke from Illinois will be your gold medalist in the men's triple jump for men 70 to 74. And that brings you up to date with the field events that are going on right now. And you will continue to watch the disc for men 80 to 84 and that high jump for women 70 to 89. High jumps on the big screen. The disc is in your lower left, and that's going to do it for my broadcast day. Dana Childs, going to go get some nutrients, going to rehydrate myself, because even if you're not competing, living in New Mexico, just the dry air just goes right out your skin. So even the non-athletes have to stay hydrated. Humidity about, 10% on average here, or sometimes less. So anyway, I'm going to go get some rest, get some food, get hydrated, reflect and enjoy what I've seen and experienced today. This really is a moving event as well as being exciting. It's kind of moving, especially for somebody that's in the demographic. It could be competing here. To see people my age out there doing it is pretty inspiring. So it's a lot of fun. We invite you to tell your friends and watch tomorrow. Our final broadcast day will be 200-meter finals and then some 4x1 relays at the end. There will be some field events going on as well. So, thank you so much for watching. Let your friends know, and we hope you can tune in tomorrow and enjoy the 200-meter finals with us. And thank you so much for watching the 2019 National Senior Games, brought to you by Humana right here on ProView Sports.
Run them up to date. You're almost finished. In fact, the triple jump I think is done.
Okay, yeah, triple jump looks cleared out.
So you're just looking with these two events. You got cameras on them, so you're in good shape. Sweet. Josh is making the top 10.